Hello students, now I am with you again with a new topic of project management process, or it is also known as phases of project management. So these are the five main phases of project management or the project management process. The first one is initiation process, or it is known as initiating project, then planning process, executing process, controlling process, and closing process. So basically there are five main process. Then the initiation process means initiative stage, where we initiate an idea of project characters. Then planning stage, planning means on the working on the particular idea and doing the things other means make project plans. Then recommended corrective actions also, so it is executive recommended the corrective actions. Then controlling correct or project plan updates, and then corrective produced deliberation of the formal acceptance and work results impacted implemented corrective actions. Then execution then controlling, both are interrelated, and all these activities are interrelated. अगर हम देखते हैं तो ये initiation, then go for the planning, then go for the execution, then go for the controlling, then go for planning, then controlling and execution, and then closing stages. So after controlling, then go for the closing the stages. So all the stages are involved. So basically project management process groups are linked by their outputs, and outputs of one is the input to another process. So like the initial stage, that if we go for the initial stage, then we produce then some output, and output is for the planning stage, it is the input for the planning stage. Then like this all the stages, output and our inputs. So project may be big or small, have a lot of moving parts, and there is so much to coordinate and track to get from point from initiation to the closing, and execute a successful project. That's why the projects are broken, and that down into the smaller and more digestible pieces, and also known as the project phases. And project phases allow you to take your unwidely project and organize it so that you can wrap your mind around it and make the progress. Basically in project management there are the five phases. I'm already talking about you the initiation, or it is also known as initiating phases, planning phases, controlling phases, execution phases, and execution and controlling, then closing phases. Throughout these project phases there is need to constantly monitor and report, and which is where the project management tools comes in. So to control and execute the project plannings and project terms, then we need the project management tools. And without project management tools, you will be scrambling to gather actionable, basically the actionable data and track the progress and meet deadlines. So these five phases of the project constitute the project management life cycle. On the basis of we can say that it is also known as project life cycle, or project managers according to the projectmanager.com CEO Jason Westland, in his depth book goes into the amazing detail and level of which we do not have time to cover, but we can give you the brief overview of that can grasp how to make project phases work for the you and your team also. Let us take one. First one is initiating process. Initiating process means there is this is where all projects begins, and the value of the project is determined, as well as its feasibility also. And before the project is approved or rejected, and these two documents are created to sell the work to the stakeholders and other sponsors. The first thing is business case, and you are justified to need the project and include the analyzing return on investment. So this is a business things, and the other is feasibility study. You need to produce, and you need to evaluate the what the project goals and the time line to the completion and how much the whole endeavors will cost. You also note that the resources will be required to fulfill the project also. So these two things are very important in the project initiation. Then the second phase, it is known as planning process or planning phase or second stage of the life cycle. In the planning, if the project is approved, then the next step is assemble as to the project teams and starting as planning, how to prepare, how to manage, and how to achieve their goals and how to get the objectives, how to fulfill the objectives of the on time of the project. The objective and project plans will include and what resources are needed. So in the planning, then first thing is the resources, second thing is financing, and third thing is materials. There are three things we need to plan, and other things plan also gives your teams direction and following. The scope of the project is, so there will be a written scope statement and written need to the project and what is deliverable and the objectives of the project. Second thing is definitions of the particular things, like the write down the smaller things, smaller and smaller ones of the things that will be helpful to managing the terms of the project and the themes of the project and them. Then decide the task, identify what tasks are necessary to produce and necessary to produce and deliverable. Figures out if any tasks are dependent on the other task also. So it is necessary to understand the task, and scope of the project, and then we will go for the schedule. Schedule means determining the duration of the task and set dates for their completions also. So starting dates, completion date, and the particular periods you need to do for the completing the project also. And the cost is another important aspect in planning, means estimating the cost involves in across the project and formulate a budget. So budget is very important, and the objectives are met throughout the project also and with the help of budgets. And then organization. Organize means note how to the project will be organized and including reports on the progress also. Staffs is also necessary. Determine the roles and responsibilities of the particular persons or team of members of the project. Then communication is another important thing, is decide how information will be disseminated and to whom and to with the frequencies of the things. Risk is also there. So you just in the planning stage, you just find out the risk and how they will impact the project and the plan how to resolve these risk and free if you try to free risk registration templates and also. If you need help getting the started with risk management, then procurement. This is decide what work to be materials will be contracted and define those contracts and other things, and then you will go to there and get there. The planning stage is very important stage in the particular things and like another parts of the organization. In the phases of the terms, then we go for the project. Third stage, it is known as the executing process or execution stage or execution phase of the project management. Now that you have done your planning, so after that it is a time to start the project, and this is where like the rubber hits the roads, and but does not mean you are just crushing. You just, this phase is made up of the executing the plan. There are two important things, is the first thing is executing the plans and other thing is administrate. So when you follow the plans you created and assigned and tasked to the teams members and manage another monitor their progress and with the project management tools like project dashboards. Then administrate means the managing the contracts and securing in the project. And fourth one is the monitoring and controlling. So this is the controlling process or controlling phase, monitoring and controlling phase stages, and this is the fourth stage of the project management. Then to ensure that the project plans is confirmed, then project plan is going well in the particular team, then project must be monitored and adjusted as needed to and to do this the following these process there you just follow that process. First thing is reporting, second is scope, quality, then schedule, then cost, and then risk. The reporting means have a metric to the measures of project progress and an instrument to deliver this the information, how the information should be carried forward to another people's. And scope is monitoring scopes and control the changes also. If you need to change, then you just go for that. And quality, measurement of the quality deliverable and make sure that plan quality is being processed. Schedule means the keep track on delay or block that impact on the timeline and project. Adjusted to say that on the track. So if you have to take time, if you take time, then cost, monitor the expenses and control cost changes also. If your project is going easy and well, and the project will not be affected, the project estimation. So then you just go, and if they increase, then you just change the project teams and other things. Risk means no changes in the risk, and throughout the project can be depended. And the last one is the closing process or close phase or close stage also. Then this is the another important stage or fifth stage, when the project is not over once and the project goals and objectives have been met. The last phase of the project is closing it out. This involves another set of process also. First thing is the scope. Make sure that project deliverable have been completed as planned. You just make sure that your project is completed as you have planned before starting the project. Then administration, close out all the activities and all the contracts and other outstanding things and administrative matters and archive and other paperwork and disseminating to the proper parties and other things. Then you just follow and transfer to the another terms. Then you just close the project. So basically project, how to implement a project process and in organization I am just talking about to you. बेसिकली आप एक प्रोजेक्ट को कैसे अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं. देन यू जस्ट गो सिंपली यू जस्ट प्रोजेक्ट आर बेस्ट मैनेज एंड व्हेन देयर इज एन एग्रीड अपॉन द मेथोडोलॉजी एंड there are leaders who have experiences and knowledge of those methods. If your organization is not using the project management process and phases to manage their projects, what do you think it could help with the project execution? You should introduce it, and maybe even in a project manager. Here some steps involved in the project management and other things. So all these process and all these activities are involved in the project management. If you become a project manager, then keep in mind the project activities, and in small, big and medium kinds of projects, at every project all these phases or all these process and steps are involved in the project management. Thank you for watching.